For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the nation's premier auction house, specializing in sports memorabilia and trading cards. With significant experience and expertise in all major sport, non-sport, and Americana collectibles, REA has helped clients achieve record-breaking prices for their items and has done so with a reputation for integrity and transparency. By actively partnering with collectors and enthusiasts throughout the entire process, REA has created the hobby's most trusted forum for selling high-quality collectibles. Go to robertedwardauctions.com for more information on how to buy or sell in their next auction.
Experience, quality, consistency, and the quickest turnaround times in the grading industry? We are proud to partner with SGC Grading. Check them out at www.gosgc.com.
Hi, I'm Danny Black.
And I'm John Newman.
Welcome to Card Mensches. Well, hello. I'm still Danny Black, and that is not John Newman. That is Mike, the mayor of Maine, Junk Wax Hero, my good friend. Mike, you are absolutely a mensch and qualified, more than qualified to sit in. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for accepting me as your downgrade of the night, with John being unavailable.
No, dude, you were only my fifth call. Don't worry. A little bit different than when you and I do other shows. We're just going to kind of take it a little bit more casual. For those of you who follow Card Mensches, normally we're every other Friday, but due to the start of the Jewish New Year tomorrow night and Rosh Hashanah, we thought that it would be probably in bad taste to do Card Mensches on Rosh Hashanah. So we've decided to move it to Thursday night. Chris Ramsey, I am trying to watch the Orioles. My internet went out about 5 minutes before we went on air. So I am hotspotting this, and please keep me updated. Playing Tampa Bay on Fox right now. It's killing me. I know there's Thursday night football also.
Ruben.
Ruben, I went to the store just for you, Ruben. There we go. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to you, Stephen. Mike, you're the honored guest, so I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Mike, channel name is Junk Wax Hero on YouTube. Been YouTubing for a little over 2 years now, and I enjoy sports cards, mostly baseball cards, and mostly vintage, and junk wax, obviously.
Mike's channel is fantastic. If you don't already watch, and I'm guessing most of the people in the room here probably do know Mike, but if you don't, certainly check out his channel. He absolutely kills it almost every day. How many shows are you doing a week now? 28?
About 4, maybe 5
4.
Occasionally.
That's your channel.
That's on my channel. Yeah.
Right.
And like tomorrow I'm on Newman's podcast, which will post 2 weeks later, I think, if I remember correctly.
He does it in leap years. He likes to store them up, and then every February 29th, he releases all of them.
Oh, wow. There's going to be a lot of content.
I think I'm going to hear it about that one. Where is John Newman tonight? He is healthy. For those of you who asked, I got a couple DMs. He is watching the Savannah Bananas. So we can decide later if that's a good enough excuse. But he's watching the Savannah Bananas up in Syracuse tonight. And what can you say? It's a full VIP package with all-you-can-eat food. And it's John Newman. So I think we saw the writing on the wall.
You had me at all-you-can-eat food. But the Savannah Bananas looks like an amazing show. They came to Portland, Maine last month, I want to say. And it was sold out 8 months in advance. And
really?
My wife was very upset. Yeah.
I had no idea that they were that popular. I mean, I've seen the gimmicks and the stuff on SportsCenter and some of the stuff. I had no idea they were this popular.
Yeah. It looks like it's great family entertainment.
He's enjoying all you can eat beef jerky or jersey. I don't know at the game.
Probably John would eat beef jersey.
If it was me, yeah, he probably would. It'd probably be delicious when he was done cooking it. He's a good griller. I had a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a while. Jerky. Thank you, Ruben. But the idea of a beef jersey is pretty interesting. I think it's better than Costanza's idea on Seinfeld. So we won't go back to the polyester. Or was it all cotton? Which one did he split? It was the polyester, right?
Yeah. No, weren't they? I think
All
he
cotton.
made them cotton.
Right. And they weighed 400 pounds, and
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah.
So topic I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm glad I actually get to do it with you because this is pretty much right in your wheelhouse. What have we learned over the years about cards? And then let's take this imaginary scenario where we get to start over. Our collections are gone. We've cashed it out for whatever. They're done. If we acquired cards in a weird way, we don't get to do that again. So, love the show about nothing. Newman, Seinfeld. Yeah, I forgot about Newman on Seinfeld. That should have been obvious. So, if we were to start these collections, how would we look at it? It wouldn't be organic because it wouldn't be over time. We let's say we went shopping within reason. The idea of this is not to say we would buy a T206 Wagner, a 52 Mantle, a 48 Jackie and go home. That's not the idea. Thank you, Rich. 3-3. This is killing me. Keep the scores coming, guys. You're keeping my oxygen going. So, Mike, I think we've both learned stuff. Yes, Lashanatos Va. Happy New Year, Rich. We've both learned stuff over the years. Do you collect differently now than when you first got into it? I would assume that's a pretty obvious question.
Yeah, so when I got back in a few years ago, I bought everything I liked, everything that looked good, and I would buy it. And I ended up with this very, very weird collection that I didn't love. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. And over the summer, I started saying, what am I doing here? Why do I own this card? Do I look at this card and get excited about it? And I really didn't. And so I made a thought about it for months, and then I made a big decision to start selling off all the cards that didn't fit with what I wanted my collection to be, and then take that money and start doing what I really wanted with my collection. And I sold off a pretty significant number of cards, only the big ones, because I haven't quite yet figured out how to sell off the small dollar cards efficiently and effectively. But I came to that realization earlier this year and started implementing my change this summer, right a little before the National, in the couple months leading up to the National.
How would you say you used to collect versus with the change you made? Like, what made you decide, okay, I'm willing to sell this card because it no longer fits my profile? Is it just enjoying it?
So like a 1966 Ernie Banks doesn't give me joy. And so I feel a little like, what was her name? Marie Kondo, who says if it doesn't spark joy. I don't know anything about her or her stuff, but that type, I would have random cards from players' careers, and the only ones that brought me joy were like rookie cards, autograph cards, ones that had stories that came with them. There are some like 1950s mega stars that I would take, Ted Williams from 58, or really any Ted Williams, Hank Aaron from 58, 59, any Mickey Mantles from the 50s that I would love to have. But there are, or Ernie Banks too, because the 50s, I don't know, I like them a lot more. Go ahead.
Do I have that? I'm about to ask a question. Look to me.
You definitely did.
Okay, so I've been congested for 2 weeks, so I think I'm over. So the Banks got me only because I think he's an underrated player. Do you like 50s Banks beyond his rookie?
Yeah, sure.
It just cuts off at a certain point where you say he played a million years and I'm no longer into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's no specific time frame, really. But I want rookies, and I have watched, if you've watched 3D 80s Kid, or 80s 3D Kid, no, 3D 80s Kid, right, John? And he talks a lot about how he doesn't want rookie cards because they're not cost effective. He only wants second year cards. I'm the opposite. I appreciate his strategy, and I get it, but I want the rookies, and I will wait. I'll be patient for the rookies, and I want rookies autographed. I'm never going to get a Hank Aaron rookie autographed or a Mickey Mantle rookie autographed, but I'll be happy to have any of those guys and their cards from the 50s.
Okay. Rich, we have 3 channels, but I appreciate that, buddy. Rich said the 66 Banks is an easy card. Does that play into it for you, Mike?
What do you mean? That they're common?
The scarcity?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
and I think this is exactly to that point.
Yeah.
Pretty highly produced card.
Yeah.
And he was already a star by the later years. Now, this might speak to your point. So the values and the cards tend to be more common because people collected and held them to the stars.
Yeah, it's less about value. I don't think about value of my cards after I buy them, which seems strange. But once I do a lot of research on value because I don't want to pay full price. I want to get it for a bargain. And so I'll be patient.
Mike fits in fantastic on card mentions, everybody.
Oh, man. I'll wait. I'll be patient. And then once I've paid for it, I will never think about the value of that card again.
You'll never think about the value, or it doesn't matter. There's two different things to me.
It does matter. Absolutely. But I never think about it again. I don't have an app that tracks the value of my players or my cards. That just doesn't occur to me at all. But I do want my cards to have value someday. So in 30, 40 years, when I'm dead, I want my family to call up Chasing Cardboard or Chris Sewell and say, hey, I've got this great collection. Come by.
Or Baltimore Sports Collectibles, Danny Black.
Who?
So some guy who occasionally does some brokering.
Chris, my favorite player to collect is Yaz, Carly Ostremski, but Pedro Martinez, Ken Griffey Jr., those guys are my favorites.
Do you seek them out now as part of your new mantra?
Yeah. Les Griffey. Like, I want his rookie. I've got 2 of his rookies autographed there, and I want more of his rookies autographed. But I'm not actively buying Ken Griffey Jr. cards like I was before.
So I think you and I are pretty similar, because I got to a point where I wanted more stuff that I had personal connections to. I don't know I think that's kind of what you're describing. I want to talk about the autograph specifically because of that. But there was one card and I sold it, and I felt bad. Like, I literally felt like I sold out on that one. That's one that should have never made the first sale. Ruben, and I thought Mike was a huge Phil Plantier collector. He is. He just doesn't like Plantier. He doesn't want to pump and dump. He's keeping that below the radar.
He hit those, what was that, 1990 or 91, when he hit those 11 home runs in 44 games, maybe?
Yeah.
Man. And he had tree trunks for thighs. And I was just a little kid, and I was like, this guy is so big, he's going to hit 1 million home runs.
Can I tell you how many Mike Greenwell cards I had?
Oh, I still have a lot. Mike Greenwell's nephew, or Mike Greenwell's son, follows me on Instagram.
Oh. Well, what's up, Mike Greenwell's son? Nephew? Nephew? Yeah.
I posted a rookie autograph of Greenwell, and he followed me and said, that's my uncle, and he's posted things with him before.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I went through, and the card I sold was, let me see if I...
Greenwell should have been MVP in 88, by the way.
Greenwell should have had a much better. This was the one I sold.
Oh, is that a 9 here?
Yeah, it's a 9.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah, a couple copies of it, but neither are graded, and neither are worth grading.
So obviously, I've rebought it. That was the card that changed that changed a lot of perspective for me. I don't know if you know, I've told the story. I had my whole collection stolen when I was a young dealer, and I don't think I've ever really gotten back to what was important to me for personal collecting in a hardcore way. So recently, I've been on kind of a run, and I'm proud of that. I feel better when I make purchases now. Do you feel differently? Do you have a different visceral reaction to getting a card now?
Yeah, I felt like I was hoarding before. I just see a card I wanted, see a card I liked, and I would buy it. And then there was no connection to them. I would get it and I'd get excited for a second, and then I would put it away, and never felt any need to take it back out again and look at it. And now I buy fewer cards, but they're more meaningful, and they have formed a collection that I take out and I look at, and I'm proud of it and I enjoy it. So yeah, that's what's important to me.
So that's where I think the autographs tie right in with what you're saying. Talk to me about how the autographs came to be part of your collection.
Oh boy, that's a good question. I first heard about TTM through the mail autographs at the end of 2021. I don't remember how, but I enjoyed autographs at that time. And it's hard for me to explain why I enjoy autographs. It's just they're different. It's not like I can get a junk wax card that holds zero financial value and get it autographed, and all of a sudden it has some financial value, but even more personal value to it. Even if it's just a 1988 Roberto Alomar that's worth $15, I enjoy that a lot more than a 1988 Roberto Alomar that's not autographed, and it gives junk wax cards less. I feel like junk wax is pejorative, and when you get it autographed,
way to defend junk wax.
Yeah. Rich, I know he had that 40-40. I know Ken Seiko had the 40-40 season, but my point is Ken Seiko was juicing, which is why Greenwell should have won. Anyway, so I started doing TTM over Christmas vacation in 2021, and I sent the first one off to Stump Merrill, which why would you send it to Stump Merrill? Well, I was a huge Red Sox fan. Stump Merrill was the Yankees manager in the early 90s when at the peak of my fandom, but he was also 5 houses down the street from me, and he was super nice to me.
All right, so, I gotta ask, did you mail it or put it in the mailbox?
I did mail it, and he still lives in that same house. I don't live down the street from him anymore, but we do live fairly close to each other. But he still lives in that same house. I thought it'd be weird if I rode my bike over to his house because it's not terribly far away. I'd be like, hey.
Well, I'd still put it in the mailbox, but
Yeah. And then I was hooked. I was hooked from there. I can just mail cards to people and have them sign them. This is awesome.
I shouldn't say most of, a good bit of your bottom row is autographed cards.
Yeah. I've got Koufax autographed, not via TTM.
By the way,
do that.
Please tell your wife, should something happen to you, I will be happy to handle that card. Crystal can have everything else.
It is in quite poor condition here. I'll show you. And there's another mantle there behind it, also not autographed.
Anytime you're not happy with that, let me know.
It's not going to happen. It comes with a story, and I'm a storyteller. I love stories. Dwight Evans rookie, Marichal rookie, Rafael Devers rookie, Griffey Jr. rookie, Pedro and Ramon Martinez signed. I don't have any Jordan autographs. What?
Way to throw Ramon Martinez in there.
Yeah. I was a huge Ramon fan as a kid.
That might be the first time those words have ever been uttered.
Yeah. I liked strikeout pitchers, and Ramon was a strikeout pitcher. You look back at his numbers now, and you're like, that was a strikeout pitcher back then? But it was. When you go to wait, hang on. What is U.S. Sports Cards? When you go to a card show, which way do you go first? Left, middle, or right? Always right. That's a great question. I've never thought about it, but I do always go right. And then I do it. I try
to find the main aisle. Whatever the main middle aisle is, I try to cut through that first.
Huh.
So I guess it's the middle.
I will always go all the way around, and then I'll go up and down the aisles if there are.
Good. First one. All right, here's one from Chris Ramsey. Why don't the cards get numbered for stolen cards since the market is only going up? I know graded cards can be cracked. It would be beneficial. I have cards from the 90s for mailing purposes. Older players still to this day box them for autos. I just choose only 5 at a time once a month. It's a lot in there. Chris, try to unpack what I can get here. I'll start at the end here. I love the idea that you keep cards around and send out 5 a month. That's a fantastic way to hobby. I love that idea. It's actually pretty disciplined, which you don't always see in us collectors. The first part, Mike, can you make sense of that?
I don't understand why don't the cards get numbered for stolen cards? I don't get that.
Yeah, Chris, just clarify. Happy to answer it for you. Like the question as always. All right, so let's talk about now what we've learned and kind of who we'd be going after. In no specific order, nothing crazy, but I'm going to start with a couple of theories of things that I think I definitely did when I was a young dealer. Probably got away from because I can't help it. I love prospects, and I dabble in that always a little bit. But I would stick to more vintage. And at the time when I started collecting, it wasn't called vintage. So these guys were mostly still alive. The cards were in a lot of times only 10 or 15 years old, or 20 years old, whatever it was, but it wasn't 50, 60 years old. and the prices obviously were in a whole different world. I also think Mike Petty. How can Mike be a mensch? He's too tall. Yes, we are a shorter people, but Mike's a guest mensch tonight. I put down our definition of mensch is kind, thoughtful, and honorable, and Mike more than lives up to that. So back to my theory. So that's kind of where I am. I'd be going more after good quality Hall of Famers or to be Hall of Famers, and chase a lot less Todd Van Poppel.
Wow, got some Van Poppel hating here. What about Ben McDonald? You want to?
Oh no, sir.
Orioles.
Don't go there, sir. I will throw stats of Ben McDonald at you. He was
his 1990 Upper Deck, man.
Yeah. And real quick, I just wanted to show you this. This was my first autograph card.
That is awesome. I want her
Jenny Finch, if you're not familiar.
Yeah, I want her Sports Illustrated for Kids card autographed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Rookie Review, that very well-known company. So you got a couple of theories of stuff you've learned over the years?
Yeah, so I want my collection to be bulk vintage, like 90% vintage, 80 to 90% vintage. And the only modern guys I want to collect are Red Sox players that I loved, Pedro Martinez, Nomar Garciaparra, even though I stopped loving him in 2003 and 4. David Ortiz a little bit. I loved Ortiz, but I haven't really found myself collecting his cards. Guys like that, and modern autographs of Hall of Famers, rookie Hall of Famers, and Diamond Kings, Donruss Diamond Kings from 82 to 96. And then guys that I think are
Can you elaborate on the Diamond Kings real quick, just because I know there's a recent hobby tie-in?
Yeah, so Perez Steele, Dick Perez was the artist who painted those cards, and he released them as part of the Donruss sets from 1982 through 1996 as a subset, and then I think the last couple of years where they were like inserts, if I remember correctly. And I want them, all of the Hall of Famers, autographed. And originally I wanted them all autographed, and then I've paired that back to just the Hall of Famers. I do have some that are not Hall of Fame, but that's fine. But then I also want guys like Shohei Ohtani rookie cards in PSA 10, only at the Topps Chrome, and Ronald Acuna.
Ruben's coming at you.
Bring it, Ruben. And Acuna is another one that I love Acuna, yeah. And I have his first Bowman autographed, in-person autograph, which I find I like the in-person autographs versus pack pulled, because you can get them at half the price, if not less, and it's still his autograph.
I like that. Do you have specific cards? And I'm catching you off guard here because I didn't ask you in advance. Is there like one or two cards out there that maybe beyond the budget a hair, but if in our fictitious little game here, you'd push for, even if it meant the autograph was on there?
Boy, there are a lot of autographs that I would love to have. For
me, obviously, Koufax I'm drooling over. But the Clemente, if I could get a Clemente autograph and card.
You said a little out of the price range.
Okay. Fair enough.
Clemente hasn't signed in 50 years. His autographs are big.
I wish I would have bought more of those. I'll add that to my list of stuff that I wish back in the day that I focused on more.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like Griffey autographs are pricey, so it's not. I can collect Tom Glavine rookie autographs all day long if I wanted to. Tom Glavine never meant anything to me, but Griffey did. I was a huge Griffey fan, but Griffey's rookie autographs are very expensive.
Well, you did a good job on the 89 Upper Deck. You got that one recently, didn't you?
At the National, yeah. It was my biggest pickup at the National, yeah.
Oh, Chris.
Oof.
Yeah. If your friend's in Baltimore and very generous, send them over.
Chris clarified his comment above, too, if we want to go back.
Did he miss that? I apologize, Chris. Numbering the cards at manufacturing purposes, you can get the cards stolen. Yeah, like a barcode or something, some way to identify the card. I think then they'd have to give away print runs.
Yeah, that's a part of it. And I was just going to make a joke that it would water down numbered cards, but we all know that they're very watered down already.
I call it the junk parallel error.
Yeah. Then there was another. I think somebody had a question up above. It was U.S. Sports Cards Next year, Fanatics launched a buyback program for the Cy Young Award winners, like the current MVP buyback. Do you think it could jumpstart hobby love? This is such a great question. Could it jumpstart hobby love for pitchers? I don't think so. I love pitchers. Like I went maniacal on.
Great question. There's the answer.
So last year, summer of 2022, spring of 2022, I went crazy collecting Sandy Alcantara and Shane McClanahan. It's like, these guys are the future. They're both going to win the Cy Young this year. I was 1 for 2. And then Alcantara struggled this year. And McClanahan was surefire Cy Young this year until he blew out his arm. But yeah, I love pitchers. I've always been a big pitcher guy. Yeah, I'm with Rich. I don't think pitchers are ever going to get the love. That's just not exciting. Spencer Strider, maybe.
I mean,
the rare. Yeah.
I mean, he might get a love for a year or two, but is there going to be Spencer Strider love in 10 years?
He'll blow out his arm.
They all blow out their arm.
Yeah.
But there's been a Cy Young since the 50s, and unless somebody wins a bunch of them and ends up in the Hall of Fame, there's usually not a lot of value, and then even then there's a ton less value. So I think it's quite an uphill climb for pitchers. You might as well be an offensive lineman.
Here's some trivia that I should know and don't. Who was the first Cy Young award?
I thought it was Don Newcomb.
Was it?
Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know. Mike, keep talking.
It feels like something I would have known as a kid that I would never ever forget, and I don't.
That's
remember.
Exactly Don Newcomb.
Yeah, there you go. Seems like the only pitchers that will have longevity is closers, the way starters are dropping. Mike loves pitchers except Jack Morris. Man, I will never live that Jack Morris thing down.
So tell the Jack Morris story.
I mentioned on a video that I didn't think Jack Morris deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. And it was just like this throwaway line. And I got so many comments about it. And I said, okay, I've got to do a video. I mean, people were really mad about this line. So I did a video that broke down the argument for Jack Morris. And I think I had a smile on my face the whole time. And boy, did it make people mad. Look, really? I love the Hall of Fame arguments, but I really don't care. And like, it's good for Jack Morris. Jack Morris was a notorious jerk, which is a large part of. I don't think Harold Baines deserves to be in the Hall of Fame either, but he doesn't bother me. Jack Morris,
because he's from Maryland and he's a Mensch, just to be clear.
Okay. But man, that video got so much hate, and it was still is my most hated video ever. People still bring it up all the time, and Chris Sewell in our episode, the series that he and I have started, has sworn to bring it up every single episode. And I get the 2 episodes we've done so far, he's brought it up, and I get so many questions about it in the comments.
Well, that you've gotten enough already filling in that it blew me away. So if Jack Morris listens to this podcast, he'll throw in his 2 cents. I mean, now that you have Mike Greenwell's nephew, as a fan, all things are popular. Jack Morris's nephew. That's who we want. We want Jack Morris's nephew to weigh in.
Yeah, I got an email today of a longtime subscriber sent me a picture. I guess he was at a Jack Morris signing, and said, he's got all the cards in front of him. He said, "Any of these cards yours, Mike?" Every day I get something that's Jack Morris related.
That is, well, now I know what to send you. That and things that kids don't say. Yeah. I want you to know, and I'll share the story that way, Uncle Rich. And before the Jack Morris comment, to think I respected your opinion, sarcastic font.
I'm surprised you ever respected my opinion, Rich.
That's the real question here. All right, other tips so we can wrap it up for people thinking long term. There's just a couple things I think get overlooked that I'd like to have a little bit more of a niche on, or niche, however you want to be pretentious. I would have gotten into vintage wax. Okay. And that's virtually unaffordable on any real level at this point.
So we're saying we're going to replace our collection with things that we know are much more valuable now. Because I would have all kinds of 52 Mickey Mantles. Things
that I wish I owned personally. Like I wish I had any vintage wax, and at this point I really can't get it.
I'd be happy with the wax wrappers.
I've thought about that.
I collect.
I'll probably end up there. I know, but they're still so much cheaper than the ones with the cards.
Yeah.
So that would be, and I would have gotten into women's sports more earlier. As you saw with the Jenny Finch, I've always bought women's cards, but I would have done more earlier. I would have gotten a Babe Diedrichson while I could have afforded it. I would have gotten a Billie Jean King. There's just, and I know I'm leaving out a ton of people, but I absolutely would have hit that market because I thoroughly enjoy it now, and I'm late to the party on a lot of the pricing.
Serena rookie autographed.
I have the rookie. I don't have it autographed. Yes,
I have her second.
I wish her autograph.
Babe Diedrichson, your Grail then.
So I have a Jim Thorpe, Babe Diedrichson, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, kind of multi-sport, like real love for what they did as athletes.
Sure.
And that is a huge thing to me. So those four specifically, and actually Dave Winfield, just for being drafted into 4 pro leagues in 3 sports. So those are all people I wish I collected more and probably will focus more on. But
not Danny Ainge.
Not Danny Ainge. Okay. You can't be a Toronto Blue Jays outfielder and call yourself a 2-sport player.
Oh, wow. Shots fired.
Here we go.
Oh, Morgan.
Is there a Morgana, the Kissing Bandit rookie out there? Rich Klein can probably answer that, actually. I'm not even kidding. Rich, is there a Morgana, the Kissing Bandit card? I would assume there was.
San Diego Chicken card, a rookie card.
And I would take Morgana over the chicken.
I'm gonna touch that one.
I was about to say, if you're of a certain age, Morgana, the Kissing Bandit should just make you smile.
There you go.
There you go. I knew Rich would have the answer. Yes, Chris Evert tennis card I should have mentioned earlier.
Margaret Court.
Thank you. Yes, Playboy did a set of 6 cards on Morgana on her circa 83. There. Oh wow, that was right in her heyday, even a little early. So that's young Morgana.
You know what's a tough get is a Steffi Graf autograph.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I wonder if it's easier or harder than Andre Agassi.
I think they're equally difficult.
So do you think they made like a marriage decision?
I don't know.
Like we're just not going to sign?
That's a good comment.
Good to see you, Mookie.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Ruben says searching for that Rich. Thank you. Yeah, Rich, let us know if ComC has any. And here you go. During her career, Steffi was a good signer. So maybe this is enjoying retirement a little bit.
Yeah.
Although when you play tennis, you have a lot of retirement. I feel like you can't decide not to sign in retirement when you're done in your 30s.
Yeah.
Orlando, Mookie, I missed some hellos earlier. Just want to get everybody in on the podcast for those that aren't watching. As a reminder, the podcast airs Monday morning on Sports Card Nation, John Newman's channel. Family-friendly rules at ComC. Not a chance those cards are on the site. Well, then we can probably find them on eBay or whatnot without a problem. I'll leave that one on my own comments. Moving forward, any other thing else non-autograph that is kind of on your list, even if it's a slight stretch, that you just wish you had one?
Yeah, I mean, I bought a 1959 Hank Aaron, got it graded. It graded way higher than I expected it to, so I sold because, I mean, it was a massive profit and I had a tuition bill to pay for my kid. That's the kind of card I would love to have back, is a mid to high grade 50s Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle. I trust me, I don't ever expect to have those autographed, so I'd be thrilled to get any of those in high grade.
All right, so I like to draw conclusions. Takeaways from what we would tell people if they go back and start their collections? Are we both just vintage dorks?
Not necessarily. I think at a high level, you want to focus. You want to buy things that mean things to you. I think that we have to define collector first, because there's a new generation of collectors that only think about the value. Collection. Right, but a lot of people talk about personal collections differently now, where they're buying to flip it later. This is my personal collection. I'm hoping this goes up in value so I can sell it in 6 months or 1 month.
That was my mistake on Bo Jackson, people. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad, bad, bad. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I think if you buy cards that you love and that you could take out and enjoy, or have out and enjoy, then you will have a successful collection.
The fact that you're willing to put your cards on the wall behind you and make them visible, I think speaks to you being proud of your collection. Would that be fair?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd love to replace some of these with improvements. That's my goal, is to buy a new card and take one down. Buy a new card, take one down.
There you go. Well, when you take down Sandy, let me know.
That's my second favorite card in my entire collection. So
it's first, yes.
No, it's my Bob Cousy rookie autograph.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. I did know that. That's very cool, by the way. I tell you every time. Show it. Yeah. It's a nice signature.
It was in a screw down when I got it, so
wow.
I knew it would probably come back as authentic, but that's okay.
But look at that autograph grade.
Yeah.
Chris Ramsey, I've got 50 Bo Jackson, 88 Topps football rookie cards, and Topps traded 15 of them. Gotta love Bo. Now, he actually won't sign my card anymore. It has to do with the licensing agreement, I think, with Nike. So that card autographed goes for a fortune because he did sign some early on. And so
it's like the Tiger Woods Sports Illustrated for Kids rookie card that there's only 2 ever that have been found autographed or graded autographed.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he won't sign them.
Just because? Different branding?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure. But
one of them, they didn't pay him for the card probably originally.
Maybe. One of them popped up last year by John Morton on Twitter, and it was signed to Ashley, which of course reduced the value significantly. And he was offering it up for $19,000 some odd dollars. I don't know how much he sold it for, but the price was down in the single thousands, like 9,000 at some point. A few months later, he was trying to get me to buy it. I was like, dude, I can't afford that.
And my name's not Ashley.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want personalized signatures, even to Mike.
I was about to ask you. You wouldn't do it to Mike? What if it was to you, Mike, not a random Mike?
No, I don't want it.
Yeah. Jordan signed exclusively with Upper Deck years ago. Hey, Fanatics is doing a ton of exclusive deals now. They announced Harry Kane the other day, so who knows? All right. Well, we're on the tail end here. If somebody can give me an Orioles update, that'd be fantastic. My TV is just coming back on, so I have no idea.
15-3.
You're kidding me.
I am.
Good, because we'd have to delete the whole episode. Let me see what you got. Oh, you didn't even tell me about that, did you?
Came in today. If you followed my channel, you'd know.
Some of us also work for a living.
It's sticker auto, so I'm selling it.
For those of you who don't know, this is great. My wife would definitely ask who is Ashley.
Steven. Oh, man.
4-3 bad guys. 13-7 Eagles at the half. This will play great on the Monday morning podcast, by the way, Mike. This is John loves when I do this.
Yeah.
Raised to 4-3. Thank you. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up tonight. Mike, I want to thank you tremendously for being a fill-in mensch. Anything else you want to pass along, or did we hit it all?
It's going to be awesome when I'm showing my cards on the podcast. People are going to love that.
Oh, I do it all.
Podcast stuff. This is way past my bedtime, so I really appreciate you guys tolerating me. I really wasn't sure what happened past 9 p.m., so this is cool. Thanks for having me on and showing me.
And he's not exaggerating, guys. I've texted him at 9:04 and don't get a response until 5 a.m. the next morning. And he has no problem texting it very early in the morning to make up for it. So,
hey, if your phone wakes you up, that's your fault, not mine.
Hey, I truly don't mind texting you late, so fair is fair. Chris, pleasure as always. Thanks for jumping on a Thursday. Ruben, appreciate it. Happy New Year to you. Orlando says goodnight to Mike. Well, Orlando, Danny says goodnight to you. Chris, I get up at 4 a.m. Yeah,
I am often up at 4 a.m. too.
Yeah, well,
that's a little too early for me. I prefer 5.
I haven't seen 4 for a good reason in a long time. If I'm up at 4, nothing good's going on. That's what happens when you're a father.
Yeah.
All right, let's get us out of here. Mike, thank you for joining me and stepping in. Cardmensches will be back 2 weeks from tomorrow, so that is the 29th, if I have my math correct. And once again, on the Monday podcast, it'll be 2 weeks from this previous Friday. Still the 29th, though, when you do your math. And we'll get one more in here. Mike Petty, good night, Mo. Good night, Curly. Good night, Larry. There we go.
Petty always kills me.
I love that. All right, fantastic. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to play this out. I will see you in the green room.
All right.